Hi students, welcome to Sankalp Study Success. Today in this video, I'll make you to solve few more problems based on normal form. That is how to find the rank of a matrix using normal form. And these problems are very important problems. And at the end of this video, I have given some assignment problems for you to practice. Okay, so before solving those assignment problems, please do watch my videos and then solve. Let's start the class. But before that, let me revise what are the steps that are used to find the rank of a matrix using normal form. See, here are the steps that are used to find the rank of a matrix using normal form. The first step is we have to make this A11 element 1. So in order to make this one, we have to check for the possibilities to swap with the row or column which has got the first element as 1. Next, we have to make these two elements 0. We have to make these two elements 0, making use of first row, that is R1. The immediate next step is step 3, that is we have to make A12 and A13 0 using C1. Next, come back to the second diagonal element, that is A22. We have to make this A22 1. Next, immediately we have to make the element that is below the second diagonal element, that is A32 as 0, making use of R2. Next, then go back again to the element that is beside the second diagonal element, A23. You have to make this 0, making use of C2. And then last one is we have to make this diagonal element as 1. So these are the steps that are used to find the rank of a matrix. Now coming back to the problem. The given matrix is this way. So let me write down the matrix once again. Okay, the given matrix is A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. See, according to the steps, the first element is already 1. The first element is already 1. Now what is the second step? We have to make these elements 0. Okay, for that what should be the operations? I have to multiply the first row with 2 and then subtract from the second row. Then it will become 0. Okay, I will write down the operation here, students. R2 implies R2 minus 2R1. Okay, and the next is R3 implies R3 minus R1. Okay, so now let's see here, students. I'm writing the here R2 implies R2 minus 2R1. Okay, so what is the first element of R2? It is 2 minus 2 into first element of R1 is 1. So 2 minus 2 is 0. Now what is the second element of R2? It is 3. 3 minus 2 into second element of R1 is 2. So 3 minus 4, it is nothing but minus 1. Next, third element of R2 is 5. So 5 minus 2 into 3, that is 5 minus 6, it is again minus 1. Next, the fourth element of R2 is 1 minus 2 into fourth element of R1 is 2. So 1 minus 4, it is nothing but minus 3. So these are the new elements of R2 now. Coming to R3, R3 implies R3 minus R1. Okay, so what is the first element of R3? 1 minus first element of R1 is 1. So it is 0. Okay, this is 3 minus 2, which is nothing but 1. 4 minus 3, 1. And 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. Now let us replace this R2 and R3 here. Okay. Okay, so this implies the first row remains the same. That is 1, 2, 3, 2. Now what is R2 here? It is 0, minus 1, minus 1, minus 3. And R3 is 0, 1, 1, 3. Okay. Now, so what is the third step? Third step is I have to go to the elements which are beside A11. That is, I have to make these three elements 0, making use of the column 1. Making use of column 1. So what will be the operations now? If I multiply column 1 with 2 and subtract from this element, I can make this element 0. In the same way, if I multiply this element by 3 and subtract from this, then I can make this element 0. Next, if I multiply this element by 2 and subtract from 2, then I can make this element 0. Okay, now let's see what are the operations. C2 implies C2 minus 2C1 and C3 implies C3 minus 3C1. And the next one is C4 implies C4 minus 2C1. Okay students, now let's see here the calculation part. C2 implies C2 minus 2C1. Okay, I will write down the column here. This is R1, R2, R3, C1, C2 and C3, C4. Okay, so let's start here. What is the first element of column 2? 2 minus 2 into 1. It's nothing but 2 minus 2, 0. Next, second element of column 2, minus 1 minus 2 into 0. It is minus 1. Next, third element of column 2, it is 1 minus 2 into 0. Again, it is 1. Next, coming to the C3 operation, C3 implies C3 minus 3C1. Okay, what is the first element of C3? It is 3 minus 3 into first element of C1 is 1. So 3 minus 3, it is 0. Next, what is the second element of C3? It is minus 1 minus 3 into 0. It is minus 1. Now, what is the third element of C3? 1 minus 3 into third element of C1 is 0. So 1 minus 0 is 1. Next, coming to C4 operation, C4 implies C4 minus 2C1. What is the first element of C4? 2 minus 2 into first element of C1 is 1. So 2 minus 2 is 0. Next, what is the second element of C4? Minus 3 minus 2 into 0. It is minus 3. What is the third element of C4? It is 3 minus 2 into third element of C1 is 0, which is 3 here. Okay, now let's write the matrix here. The first column remains the same, 1, 0, 0. Second column elements are, these are second column elements, 0, minus 1, 1. And these are the C3 elements, that is 0, minus 1, 1. And these are C4 elements, 0, minus 3 and 3. Next, what I have to do? What is the next step? Immediately I should get back to the second diagonal element. It should be 1, but it is minus 1 here. So what will I do here? I will multiply this second row with a negative sign. So I'll multiply R2 implies R2 into minus 1. Okay, so now what will be the matrix here? This implies the first row remains the same, 1 0 0 0. Okay, 0 1 1 3 and 0 1 1 3. Yeah, if you observe carefully, the second row and third row are same here. Okay, so what will I do now here? What will be the operation? R3 implies R3 minus R2. Okay, so then what will be the matrix? first row and the second row remains the same, 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 3. So if I subtract R3 and R2, it is 0 minus 0 0, 1 minus 1 0, 1 minus 1 0, 3 minus 3 is 0. Clear, students? Next, immediately what is the next step that I have to do? I should go back to the elements that are beside the second diagonal element, that is 1 and 3. I should make these to 0. Okay, so what will be the operations here? That for that I have to make use of column 2. Okay, so C3 implies C3 minus C2, and the next one is C4 implies C4 minus 3C2. Okay, students, now I will solve it here. C3 implies C3 minus C2. Okay, so what is the, for your purpose, I'll write down here C1, C2, C3 and C4. Now, what is the first element of C3? It is 0, and the second element of C2 is 0. So, 0 minus 0 is 0. Now, what is the second element of C3? It is 1 minus second element of C2 is 1. Now, it is 0. Now, the third element of it is 0 minus 0. Again, it is 0. Now, coming to the next operation, that is C4 implies C4 minus 3C2. Okay, first element of 0 C4 is 0 minus 3 into first element of C2 is 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Next, second element of C4 is 3 minus 3 into second element of C2 is 1. Okay, 3 minus 3, it is again 0. And next, the third element is 0 minus 0, which is nothing but 0. Now we will write down the matrix here. The first column remains the same, 1 0 0, and the second column also the same, 0 1 0. Coming to the third column, these are the new elements for the third column, 0 0 0, and for the fourth column also we have 0 0 0. Clear, students? Now, if you observe carefully, see, this is a 2 by 2 identity matrix. 1 0 0 1 is a 2 by 2 identity matrix, and all other elements are made 0. This is what is called as our normal form. We have seen in the previous video. If you want, you can go and check that video once. Okay, so how can we write this now? I2, because it is a 2 by 2 matrix, I2, and instead of writing all the remaining zeros, I will simply write these 3 zeros. Okay, and I told you whatever the suffix is there, that is nothing but the rank of the matrix, or we can also define the rank of the matrix as number of non-zero rows. How many non-zero rows are there? This is a non-zero row and this is non-zero row. Therefore, the rank of the matrix is equal to 2. Is that clear, students? All the steps? Now, let's go to the second problem. Okay, first I will write down the matrix first once. Okay, this is a bit lengthy problem. Listen carefully. The given matrix is A is equal to 1 0 2 1. It is a 4 by 4 matrix. 0 1 minus 2 1 1 minus 1 4 0 2 2 8 0. Okay, so this is the matrix that is given. Now, what is the first step? This element should be 1. So it is already 1. So forget about it. Next, what is the second step? I have to make these 3 elements 0, making use of R1. But here the element is also 0. So forget about R2. We will make these 2 elements 0. For that, what I have to do? I have to multiply this element by 2 and subtract from this 2 so that this can be made 0. And I will simply subtract this and this element so that this element can be made 0. Is that clear? I will write down the operation here. R3 implies R3 minus R1, and R4 implies R4 minus 2R1. Okay, so I will solve it here, students. This here R3 implies R3 minus R1. What is the first element of R3? It is 1 minus first element of R1 is 1. It is 0. Now what is the second element of R3? It is minus 1 minus 0, which is nothing but minus 1. Next, third element of R3 is 4 minus 2. It is nothing but 2. Next, what is the fourth element of R3? It is 0, and fourth element of R1 is 1. So 0 minus 1, it is nothing but minus 1. Now coming to the next operation, that is R4 implies R4 minus 2R1. Okay, now what is the first element of fourth row? It is 2 minus 2 into first element of R1 is 1. So 2 minus 2 is 0. And what is the second element of R4? 2 minus 2 into second element of R1 is 0. So it is 2. Next, what is the third element of R4? It is 8 minus 2 into 2. 8 minus 4, it is 4. And what is the last element of R4? It is 0 minus 2 into last element of R1 is 1, which is nothing but minus 2. Now we'll write down all these elements here. So what will be the matrix here? The first row and the second row remains the same, that is 1 0 2 1 0 1 minus 2 1. Now what are the new elements of R3? These are the new elements of R3, that is 0 minus 1 2 minus 1, and R4 is 0 2 4 2, sorry 4 minus 2. Is that clear, students? Now immediately what we have to do, we have to make these three elements 0 to 1 as 0, making use of column 1. This is already 0, so forget about it. We'll make these two elements 0, making use of column 1. So how will you do this? I'll multiply this element by 2 and I will subtract from this so that this can be made 0. And simply I will subtract these two elements so that this element can be made 0. Okay, so what will be the operations here? C3 implies C3 minus 2C1, and C4 implies C4 minus C1. Okay, I'll solve it here. C3 implies C3 minus 2C1. What is the first element of C3? It is 2 minus 2 into first element of C1 is 1. So 2 minus 2 0. Now what is the second element of C3? It is minus 2 into second element of C1 is 0. So it is minus 2. Now third element of C3 is 2 minus 2 into 0. It is 2. Next, fourth element of C3 is 4 minus 2 into 0, which is 4. Now what is the next operation? C4 implies C4 minus C1. What is the first element of C4? 1 minus first element of C1 is 1, that is 0. Next, second element of C4 is 1 minus 0, it is 1. Third element of C4 is minus 1 minus 0, which is minus 1. And the last one is minus 2 minus 0, it is minus 1. Now let us replace these two columns now. So first column remains the same, 1 0 0 0. Even the second column remains the same, 0 1 minus 1 2. Okay, now what is C3? 0 minus 2 2 4, and C4 is 0 1 minus 1 and minus, sorry, it is minus 2 here, students, minus 2. Okay, next what we have to do, we have to come back to the second diagonal element. The second diagonal element is already 1, so no need to make it 1. Next, I have to make the elements which are below this diagonal element, that is minus 1 and 2. I have to make it 0. But before that, if you can observe carefully, I can divide this fourth row. R4 implies R4 by 2. That is RC. R4 implies R4 by 2. So first element of R4 is 0 by 2. 0 by 2, it is 0. Second element is 2 by 2, it is 1. Okay. Third element is 4 by 2, 2. And the last element is minus 2 by 2, it is minus 1. Okay. So now let me write down the new matrix here. The first three rows remains the same, that is 1 0 0 0 0 1 minus 2 1 0 minus 1 2 minus 1, and the last one is 0 1 2 and minus 1. Yes. Now after this, I have to make these two 0, right? For that I have to make use of the row 2. Okay, what will be the operation now? R3 implies R3 plus R2. Is it plus or minus? Wait, students, let me check. R3 plus R2. Right? Minus 1 plus 1. Yes, 0. Next, what is the next operation? R4 implies R4 minus R2. Okay, so now let me solve here. R2 implies R3 implies R3 plus R2. Okay, what is the first element of R3? It is 0, plus first element of R2 is 0, so it is 0. Okay, what is the second element of R3? It is minus 1, plus second element of R2 is 1. Minus 1 plus 1 0. Okay, now the third element of R3 is 2, plus third element of R2 is minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And what is the fourth element of R3? It is minus 1 plus 1, which is 0. Next, R4 implies R4 minus R2. That is, what is the first element of R4? 0 minus 0, which is nothing but 0. And second element of R4 is 1 minus 1, which is 0. Next, 2 minus of minus 2, 4. And what is the last element of R4? It is minus 1 minus second element, sorry, fourth element of R2 is 1. So minus 2. Now let us replace this, students. So the first two rows remain the same, 1 0 0 0. Okay, 0 1 minus 2 1. And the third row is completely 0. And the fourth row is 0 0 4 and minus 2. Okay. Next, immediately I have to go back to here. I should make these 0, making use of C2. What are the operations here? C3 implies C3 plus 2C2 and C4 implies C4 minus C2. Okay, so here students see, well, I will solve it here itself. What is the first element of C3? I will write down C3 here, wait. C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay, what is the first element of C3? It is 0 plus 2 into 0, which is 0. Next, what is the second element of C3? It is minus 2 plus 2 into 1, which is 0. Okay. Next, the third element of C3 is 0 plus 2 into third element of C2 is 0, which is nothing but 0. Next, fourth element of C3 is 4 plus 2 into C2 is 0, which is again 4 here. Now coming to here, C4 minus C2, first element is 0 minus 0, it is 0. Okay, students. Next, second element of C4 is 1 minus C2 is 1, so 0. Next, here it is 0 minus 0, again 0. And the fourth element of C4 is minus 2 minus fourth element of C2 is 0, which is nothing but minus 2. Now let us replace this. So the first and second columns remain the same, that is 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. Okay, now C3 is 0 0 0 4 and C4 is 0 0 0 minus 2. Next, what will I do is, I will divide R4 by 2. R4 implies R4 by 2. Okay, so now what does the matrix look like? 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 and 0 0 2 minus 1. Next, again what I will do here, see, I will swap R3 and R4 so that the last row becomes 0. Okay, now what will be the matrix now? 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 2 minus 1, and this is 0 0 0 0. Okay, I should make again this element is a diagonal element, right? This element is a diagonal element. I should make this 0, sorry, I should make this 1. So what will I do now? I will swap C3 and C4. Okay students, so 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 minus 1 0 and 0 0 2 0. Okay, but listen students, I should not have minus 1 here, it should be plus 1, right? Diagonal element, right? 1 1 1 1. Okay, but it is minus 1 here. So what I will do here, I will multiply R3 with minus 1. Then what does it become? 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0. If I multiply minus 1 with minus, it becomes 1, and this is minus 2 0 0 0 0. Clear students? Now only this element is left now. Only this element is left. So what I will do, simply I will divide C4 with -2 simply, and I will do another operation after dividing it by -2. I will do another operation like C4 implies C4 minus C3. Okay, after doing these two operations, let's see here students, I'm writing here, after doing these two operations, how does the matrix look like? Okay, 1 0 0 0, first three columns remains the same, 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0. Okay, and 0 0, I'm dividing this column by -2, so it will become 1 1 and 0. Okay, and after doing this operation, the matrix look like 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 0. Is that clear students? Because see here, C4 minus C3, I will do it here if you want, check it out once again. What is the first element of C4? I will write down, wait, this is C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay, what is the first element of C4? It is 0 minus first element of C3 is 0, so 0 minus 0 is 0. Okay, what is the second element? It is 0 minus 0, again 0. Okay, now here it is 1 minus 1, 0, and 0 minus 0 is 0. So I got all elements are 0 here. So if you observe carefully, this is a 3 by 3 identity matrix. 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, so how will write this here? This implies I3 0 0 and 0. So what is the rank of the matrix? Therefore rank of the matrix is equal to whatever the suffix that is there, that you can take it, or you can check for the number of non-zero rows. The number of non-zero rows are 1 2 and 3. Rank is equal to 3. It is a bit lengthy problem. You have to check for the operations, row operations and column operations very carefully. This problem is for 10 marks, students. Now these are some assignment problems for you in order to practice. Okay, the first one is we have to reduce it into echelon form and then find the rank. So echelon form, first you have to make make the elements which are below the diagonal elements 0, that is upper triangular matrix. Okay, so this element 1 2 3 4 5 6, you have to make this 0 echelon form and then find the rank. Rank is nothing but number of non-zero rows. Next, for what value of k the matrix has rank 3? Here the rank is given as 3. We have to find the value of k. Next, that means determinant A is equal to 0. Then you'll get the value of k. Find out the determinant and equate it to 0. Then you'll find the value of k. Next, find the rank of the following matrix by reducing it to normal form. This is for 10 marks. Normal form, I've already told you the steps. This should be first 1. Make it 1. So swap it with row 3. Okay. Next, these are some 2 marks and 1 mark questions, Nana. This can be asked for 1 mark or 2 marks. This can also be asked for 1 mark or 2 marks. Define echelon form of a matrix and define normal form or canonical form of a matrix. And the next here is 6th question. Find the rank of the following matrices. 3 by 3 matrix. You can either make use of echelon form or determinant method in order to find the rank of the sixth question, whichever you feel easy or whichever you are comfortable, because this is not a long answer question. It can be either for 2 marks or 1 mark only. Okay, so you can make use of determinant method, that is finding the determinant, or simply you can use echelon form. Download the app. In the app we have lot of solved problems and assignment problems too. Before solving the assignment problems, please do check my videos, understand the concept, and then try to solve the assignment problems. Thank you, students.